So, hello, good morning. Uh, Today it's 20 August 2024. Time is 5:42 a.m. And uh, yesterday I forgot two things to discuss. Those were somehow missed by me, which I wanted to discuss. So basically, one of the reason uh, it's partial part of that point which I missed, I think. So this is the question why Mahabharat happened. So was it because of uh, naked trial of Draupadi, the wife of Pandavas, or it was because of this land issue which Duryodhan denied to Pandavas? So maybe some can argue that the main the flash or the what do you say the instance which sparked the fire can be the land issue, but the buildup was there. Okay, from the early stages of their early childhood, the buildup was there, and it started because of the ill behavior of Duryodhan and his father. So I think the major point would be Draupadi's naked trial and the attempt to demean her character. That would be the major point, as believed by all. But some also believe that land is the main issue. So I wanted to point out that. And second point was what were some influential people who referred Bhagwad Gita for their philosophical purpose. Like uh, they always believe that philosophy and these books help them to find uh, new discoveries, like whole of the quantum mechanics. If it can relate, then can be related to our Vedas and Upanishads or this Gita. This was the quote by this was quoted by I think Tesla. So there are some more people who were influenced. One was Tesla, I told you. You can go read about it. Second was Neil Bohr. You know, Neil Bohr, obviously, he said that whenever he faces any type of difficult question or he isn't able to find any answer, he go to Upanishads for on his answers. On one person is the Heisenberg. You know, Heisenberg uncertainty principle, uh, like we can't measure momentum and position of an electron at the same time. The concept of quantum mechanics, and also there are multiple instances where even uh, multiverse concepts are discussed in the Gita, which I'll share whenever they strike on the book in the book basically. Also, the philosophy of dualism is also discussed. So, this is something I missed in the in the yesterday's video that I wanted to cover. So, starting with today's video. So, I think today's video is about starting the main or the original Gita. The Gita is divided into 18 chapters. And the first chapter, if I remember right, first chapter, it's called Arjun Vishad Yog. So, okay, so I'm following this book also, Bhagavad Gita as it is. Here, the name of the chapter is Observing the Armies on the Battlefield of Kurukshetra. If you remember, we left that both sides of the people were ready for the war, and so further taking the story ahead, we have this observing the armies on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. So here comes the first shloka. It's said by Dhritarashtra. Basically, Dhritarashtra was blind and he wasn't able to see things, but by eyes he was blind, but by mind, obviously, he can imagine what was happening in the life. And so, Sanjay, there were two people, Sanjay and Dhritarashtra. Sanjay was his chariot carrier. some say कि मतलब वो भी सारथी थे जैसे वो कृष्ण थे and some say कि they were sitting in the room and Sanjay has some what do I say this basically some kind of powers he was possessing with by which he can see what was happening in the battlefield. And some say they were both in the battlefield and Sanjay was his chariot carrier and also his advisor. So he was able to see what was happening in the battlefield and convey the same to Dhritarashtra. So basically, Dhritarashtra asked this question because he was blind. So here goes the show. धर्म क्षेत्र कुरुक्षेत्र संवेदा युयुत्सवा मामकः पांडवाश्च किम कुर्वता संजय. So it means dharm kshetra. So dharm kshetra it's because land on which the battlefield on which the war was breaking out. It was a dharm kshetra in the way in our Vedas. It's many times mentioned that this place named Kurukshetra, Dharm Kshetra, Kurukshetra. So this place name is basically a land of is a sacred land and a land of pilgrimage. So that's the meaning of these two words. Samvita Yuyutsva. Dharm Kshetra Kurukshetra Samvita Yuyutsva. Samvita means on जो लोग उन पे वहां पे असेंबल हुए लड़ाई करने के लिए. The people who were assembled to fight the war. मामकाः पांडवाश्च. मामकाः मतलब my sons. Basically, uh, I'll tell you the meaning later. पांडवाश्च मतलब पांडव के बेटे. किम कुर्वता संजय. वो क्या कर रहे हैं संजय आप मुझे बताइए. ये धृतराष्ट्र संजय से पूछते हैं. सो बेसिकली यहाँ पे मल्टीपल चीजें निकल के आती हैं कि पहली बात तो धर्म क्षेत्र कुरुक्षेत्र पे ऐसी लड़ाई होने जा रही है. कुरुक्षेत्र जो जगह का नाम है. धर्म क्षेत्र आई टोल्ड यू अर्लियर. सो वहां पे जो लोग असेंबल हुए और यहाँ पे जो नोट करने वाली बात है. द important point is that Dhritarashtra called called his sons as my sons and the Pandavas as Pandu's sons. So this shows that he didn't consider Pandava's son as his own son, and even though even though they were both were under the guardianship of Dhritarashtra. He basically has a bias, obviously, for his sons, but that should not be the case. As we all know, the king should be above all and everyone, and he shouldn't be attached to any of his family members. He has a dharma to serve. Dharma means duty, basically, here. and dharma is above everything, even the family. So there is one famous saying by चाणक्य also कि आप राजा और अपनी फैमिली को साथ में कभी भी नहीं रख सकते, क्योंकि राजा का दायित्व हमेशा सर्वोपरि होता है, वो सबसे ऊपर होता है, उसको धर्म से मतलब होता है, धर्म यहाँ पे जस्टिस मीन कर रहा है। सो आप हर समय मतलब हर टाइम अगर आप जस्टिस करेंगे, कुछ आपके फैमिली मेंबर्स ने भी गलत किया, उनको भी आपको सजा देनी पड़ेगी। सो बेसिकली इट मेंट कि आपको एक्सट्रीम केसेस का भी सामना करना पड़ेगा। एंड एज एज ही वाज किंग, दिस आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट रिलेटेड चाणक्य। अगर आप किंग हो तो आपके ऊपर और ज्यादा लोग क्वेश्चंस उठेंगे, और ज्यादा सवाल उठेंगे। अगर आपने कुछ कर दिया तो और ज्यादा लोग क्वेश्चंस पुट अप करेंगे कि अरे ये तो धर्म धर्म वो अमीर ग्रह खानदान से हैं बेसिकली, सो इनके पास पावर है। सो उनको मतलब उनको दिखाने के लिए कि धर्म धर्म मीन्स यहाँ पे जस्टिस सर्व होगा, आपको कड़े डिसीजन लेने पड़ेंगे। इसलिए दिस वाज एग्जांपल इन द चाणक्य नीति टू दैट king is above everything and above all. Dharma is the only thing which matters to him. And clearly Dhritarashtra failed in this. Also, it shows one of the things which is not given in the book. While I was searching for this quote, I got this. So, uh, when Dhritarashtra asked this question, as he knew he was on the wrong side of the war, which was against the Dharma. So, when you know that you are doing something wrong, you know there will be some repercussions, there will be consequences, and you know what's gonna happen. Similar to it's in our case, when we do anything wrong, we know consciously that we are doing this wrong. So we also know there might be some consequences. It might not be a reaction to an action in an instant way. It will be later, so and this also relates to a concept of karma. So basically, I think one more point we can grab from this quote: the attachment to our uh, objects. Basically, this will be covered in much deeper way. So, in the later part of this Gita, attachment to our family and attachment to sons. So, when he asked this question to Sanjay, he was basically concerned about his sons, which shows his attachment to his sons and also his kingdom, and the greed that his kingdom should be given to his sons and not Pandu's sons. So I think वैसे तो ये बाद में भी डिस्कस होगा, बट आई थिंक दिस should I thought this should have been pointed out, so I did. So I think I covered, I missed one thing. Okay. So this Arjun Vishad Yoga basically covers 4 to 5 parts. Uh, basic, it's starting from this. Then ask questions to Sanjay about what Duryodhan and what Pandavas are doing. Then we went ahead to introduction of warriors who are with Pandavas, who are against Pandavas, who are more powerful and who are less powerful. And then we start with Arjun's problems. Basically, the best way to understand Gita is grab yourself and put in the shoes of Arjun. Put yourself in the shoes of Arjun, and you will understand Gita better, in a better way. So ultimately, the chapter ends with the chapter starts. Basically, Gita starts with Arjun's problem, and chapter ends with Arjun's problems. To introduction to Arjun's problem. So I think that's all. Signing off for today. Okay, bye.